Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Dueling Book Commentary. I just changed my intro. Goodness gracious. I'm looking at my cat. I apologize. But that was goodness. That's interesting. Okay. But anyway, we have Quarantana Davidi with 743 rating, 1825 experience, taking on Broken Heart Prankster with 1234 rating, 1522 experience, so a lot higher rating on his side, but more actually experience on Quantara's side. So it's going to be interesting to see here, as we do see Pot of Desires attempt to be activated, and then Artifact Lancia be chained to that, and then Praying Kid's Fansies is going to come down, and it's going to be used to summon Meow Mew, and since it was used as link material, it's going to summon out the Dropsies, and then I think it gets its little thing. Dropsies does. He didn't use his thing. But we do see Doodle Doodle Doo come down. That's going to go ahead and then also Dropsies is going to be used to summon out Lampsies, goodness gracious. And then they're going to be used to summon out Praying Kid's Bow Wow Bark. And Lampsy is going to be used to summon out Fansies. That's exciting. I do kind of want to click on this. I am not responsible for whatever this is. What? Okay. Respect. I don't know. And then we do see the Twin Twisters come down. It's going to go ahead and excuse me, the Prank Kids Pandemonium. That's super big, as well as Prank Kids Pranks. And it also pitched Aldrich. I forget what this one does. This card sends the graveyard target one face-up monster on the field and negates effects with his turn. I'd assume that activated its thing. He's just going crazy over here. Nothing wrong with that. As we see Tour Guide from the Underworld come down, summoning out the Graph of the Burning Abyss. So it's looking like it's going to be PK Fire, or at the very least Burning Abyss, taking on Prank Kids. And these are two very solid, I don't know if you can call Prank Kids rogue options. I was just going to say rogue options, but I think Burning Abyss is a solid rogue option, whereas I think Prank Kids is actually just like a solid option in general. We did see at the LCS, especially day one of the LCS, it was very, very widely used and utilized. I think it's just because the way it interacts, it's very like, it has like the OTK potential that we've seen a lot of fusion decks have, but it also has a lot of different interactions that players just don't really know how to play super duper well around. As we do see Dante get summoned, he's going to go ahead and set Barbar, Forbidden Droplet, and D-Shifter, so not really the best mills. We do see a Dark and a Light in the graveyard, so that's something to keep in mind. For future reference, because there are a lot of fairly solid monsters that banish Dark and a Light. And we see Eldritch get banished for Barbar's effect. And then we do see the Graph effect get activated, summoning out Seer. Classic. Classic. So yeah, these are two actually kind of older decks too. I mean, obviously Burning Abyss significantly older than Prank Kids. Not like significantly is like, you know, it's not like Gravekeeper's old, but like it's old, especially in comparison to Prank Kids. But Prank Kids has been around for a while as well. As we do see the Dante beat over the Bow Wow Bark. But we do still see, however, Broken Heart Prankster having 6 cards in his hand to Quarantana's 4 cards total, and that's not even including the Fansies that's still sitting there on the field. As we are going to go ahead and see a Link summon for IP Masquerena. I would assume Dante's effect is going to activate, adding the Seer. Yep, and Seer is going to activate, summoning back out the Dante. And then Seer is going to be discarded. Unfortunately, its effect's already been activated, but that's okay. It's going to go ahead and summon Beatrice. And Zeus. Yep, I figured. Zeus is going to come down. So it's curious that he made IP Masquerena. He must not have had any other options. Or maybe he just didn't want to use... I mean, I guess actually the Burning Abyss Link monster is 2 level 3 monsters. So you couldn't use Dante for that. So Prankster is going to have to play around as Zeus here. If Quarantana, we're going to call him David. If David is able to time the Zeus right, he's going to be in a good spot. I don't think this Droll and Lockbird's going to matter too much. I think the field spell adds, I don't know, because I used to play Prank Kids before, I know everybody used to, right? But before they had, I don't know where the guy went, this thing. Before they had this thing, I used to play Prank Kids and try to make the deck good. This thing made the deck very, very good. As we do see, the AA Zeus comes down immediately. Just after the normal summon of the Lamp Season. That could be good right there. But anyway, the reason I bring up that I used to play Prank Kids is just simply because we see Dante's effect activated to add back the graph. It's just simply because I remember like all of these cards and what they do, but not to like the extent that I used to. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, like when the deck came out. Like when the deck first came out, I picked up Prank Kids. In hindsight, that was a mistake to let it all go, but hindsight's 2020. And like I said, that was before this card came out. This card really just bursted open Prank Kids. As we see the Instant Fusion getting activated here. I'm going to be curious to see what Konami decides to do with Instant Fusion with the release of the new Fusion spell. Just simply because it does still have a lot of plays. Like, you can still see, like, obviously, the new Fusion spell can't summon out Rocket Ride. Rocket Ride's got an effect, right? That only summons non-effect monsters, right? And now Rocket Ride's using its effect to summon out Doodle Doodle Doo and Fansies. Fansies is going to be used as Link Summon for the Meow Meow Mew. And then Parallel Z is going to be used chaining the Fansies. And all of a sudden, this board's just completely resurrected. And it was because of the Instant Fusion. So I think, like, Instant Fusion's going to be really, really still good. As we see Roxy's get summoned off of the Fansies. But like I said, I'm going to be curious to see, because Konami could just ban Instant Fusion just outright once that card comes out too. That's something that needs, you know, because Instant Fusion's always been abused. Ever since it's the dawn of its creation, it's always been abused. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just banned Instant Fusion outright and said, hey, this is the cards that you get now. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they just kept it at 1. But we do see, just using one Instant Fusion, what it was able to do. Just like, I mean, literally this entire board right here was from this Instant Fusion. Now, obviously Instant Fusion plus Parallel Exceed, but just this one board. And then we see the 1-for-1 get used, pitching Droll and Lockbird and summoning Droll and Lockbird. And then it's going to be used to summon out Nightmare Unicorn. And then Unicorn and Roxy is going to be used to summon out Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker's effect is going to activate, and then Doodle 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 Doo's effect is going to activate. Adding, I don't think he added Dropsies and Lamsies, but that's okay. And then Pandemonium's going to come down, summoning out the Weather Washer. And that's what we're seeing with Prank Kids. It's like the recursion ability, like the ability to get the board back through. I mean, you know, you're playing through an AA Zeus, not the most dangerous field, just an AA Zeus, right? But you use your normal summon and literally just one Instant Fusion, because of what the deck is capable of doing, was literally able to OTK. Now, I don't think it was technically an OTK, because I think at one point David lost life points. Yeah, he lost life points either to like one of the little ones. I think Lamsies is the one that burns. Yeah, I think it's like Lamsey burns, Dropsy gains life, the Roxy's might draw and discard. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've specifically read all of those cards. I just know they also all summon out one other than themselves. But then they also have an effect on top of that. And this is a deck that you really need to know, like, what it's about and how to play around. And this is one of those, this is probably the only fusion-based deck that doesn't actually just get destroyed by Dimensional Barrier. Now, you could argue Eldritch Invoked is another one of those decks as well, just specifically because, like, you know, Eldritch Invoked, if you debarrier and they can't summon their invoked monsters, they can still fall back on their Eldritch, right? But if even, like, Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatica, if you're able to play that Dimensional Barrier, it kind of just outright beats them. Right, and there's a lot of other fusion archetypes. You know, you look at Drytron's a ritual-based archetype. You Dimensional Barrier there. They don't really do super duper hot. But Prank Kids can kind of play around Dimensional Barriers. We do see the Prank Kids Lace comes down. It's going to go ahead and add the Roxy's. wonder what this card's at. This card has been shooting up to the moon, and I would assume it's not going to slow down anytime soon. I think it's fairly safe to assume. I mentioned this earlier that this is actually a tier 1 strategy. I think people assumed as we see the Roxy's get used to summon out Meow Meow Mew, and then the Parallel Exceed gets used. So this is, I knew it. I knew this was one that discard and draw, but it's banish instead of discard. But anyway, I think like what I was saying was like I think it was like Dragon Link, Dinosaurs, Zulich or Eldritch variants and Invoked variants. Those were like the 4 main meta tier decks. I think you have to include Prank Kids. There's just too much. There's just too much consistency, and there's too much representation in the current format for you to not say that Prank Kids is a tier 1 strategy. But let me know what you guys think. Actually, I'm curious to see. Comment down below. Do you think Prank Kids is a tier 1 strategy or not? As we do see the Meow Meow Mew and the Dropsies get used to summon out the Doodle Doo. And then we do see the Dropsies is going to get Ash Blossomed. And the Pandemonium is going to come down. It's a good card. Pandemonium is a really solid card. You look at just like the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just about every single, I think there's like one hero one that's not very good. 4 sets, goodness gracious. As we do see Dropsies and Lampsies get added off of the Doodle Doo. But every quick play spell card that says Fusion Summon has been good, relatively speaking. As we do see the Abyss Dweller is going to activate its effect, detaching the Parallel Exceed, so now the graveyard is completely shut off, which is super huge against David. You're using Burning Abyss. This is the bane of Burning Abyss's existence, and it has Abyss Dweller since its release has seen consistent play. Like since its release, there's not a whole lot of cards that do that, but we do see the Pankratops come down. It's going to go ahead and activate its effect, but that's just going to get judgmented. Judgmental? I don't know. As we do see Solemned, and we do see the Solemn Judgment come down, and we see the Farfa is, I'm assuming, special summoned? Normal summoned? Farfa's going to go ahead and be normal summoned. And then they're going to special summon the Seer. That's going to go ahead and make the Dante. I'd assume one of these 3 cards is not going to let this Dante summon go through. What's up? Oh, he's scooping. He's scooping. Yeah. But, yeah, and that's kind of one of my main things, because Burning Abyss isn't necessarily like pure Burning Abyss, maybe not as super good as like PK Fire, but Burning Abyss isn't necessarily a terrible strategy right now, and we see it just absolutely demolished by Prank Kids here. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Prank Kids is a tier 1 strategy? Make sure you hit that subscribe button for even more Yu-Gi-Oh content, but most importantly of all, have a great day.